Behind the smile. Park Bo-gum's quiet family pain. What happened? What lies beneath the dazzling smile of Korea's beloved heartthrob? Is fame always built on fairy tales? Or are there silent storms behind the spotlight? Today, Red Carpet Revealed takes you beyond the glitz and into the shadows, uncovering the emotional scars, financial battles, and quiet resilience that shaped Park Bo-gum into the man the world adores. Buckle up, this is not the story you thought you knew. At first glance, Park Bo-gum is the epitome of perfection, a dazzling smile, a gentle demeanor, a spotless reputation, but behind that disarming grin lies a story few dare to tell. Red Carpet Revealed takes you deep into the shadows of fame to unearth a tale of hardship, heartbreak, and a boy who learned to smile through the storm. Chapter 1. The Boy with the Broken Piano. It all began in Mokdong, Seoul, not in a mansion, but a modest apartment where dreams often collided with unpaid bills. Park Bo-gum, the youngest of 3 children, wasn't born into luxury. His mother passed away when he was still in elementary school, a loss that left an invisible fracture in his heart. His father, a struggling entrepreneur, fought tooth and nail to keep the family afloat. But life had other plans. There was a piano, secondhand, slightly out of tune, that sat in the corner of their living room. It became Bo-gum's refuge. Every time the weight of silence became too heavy, he would play, not just melodies, but emotions. The neighbors often paused to listen, not because the boy was a prodigy, but because his music sounded like a quiet cry. But behind the music, bills were piling up. Chapter 2. The signature that changed everything. At 16, Park Bo-gum did something no teenager should ever have to do. He signed as a guarantor for his father's loan. 300 million won, a number too big to comprehend, yet one he accepted without hesitation. His father had promised, "This business will work, just trust me," and he did. But the business failed, and the loan snowballed. By 2014, the debt had grown to nearly 800 million won. Park Bo-gum, then just a rising actor with barely enough roles to cover rent, was suddenly slapped with a lawsuit. The creditors came knocking, not at his father's door, but his. Quietly, without drama or headlines, he filed for bankruptcy. And still, he smiled. Chapter 3. The smile that fooled the nation. As his fame rose, fans saw only the shine. The prince of K-dramas. The polite, gentle star with a church boy's charm. But behind closed doors, he was living off instant noodles, refusing to take taxis unless absolutely necessary, and saving everyone he could, just to clear a debt he didn't create. He refused to move into a luxury apartment like other celebrities. He still folds his clothes neatly, washes dishes by hand, and turns off lights religiously to save electricity. In interviews, he calls it habit. But it's more than that, it's survival instinct. One manager recalls catching him once, late at night, praying alone backstage. He wasn't praying for success. The manager whispered, he was praying for forgiveness, for strength, for peace. Chapter 4. The twist no one saw coming. By 2015, Park Bo-gum had paid off the debt, quietly, without making a show of it. When reporters asked about his wealth later, he smiled and changed the subject. What no one knew was that during those tough years, he had refused multiple high-paying endorsements because they didn't align with his values. He could have made millions, but he chose dignity over dollars. Then came the real shock. It was revealed in court documents that Bo-gum's legal team had tried to protect his father, even offering personal funds to prevent public humiliation. He never blamed him, never lashed out. In fact, in a rare statement, he said, "My father did his best. I just did mine too." Chapter 5. The Final Curtain. A legacy beyond stardom. Today, Park Bo-gum is a superstar. But unlike many in his league, he lives modestly, gives generously, and carries a quiet humility that makes others pause. He visits his late mother's grave every year on her birthday. Alone, rain or shine, he never forgets. He still plays the piano. That same habit, a boy whispering through music, remains. So the next time you see Park Bo-gum's radiant smile, remember, it wasn't carved by comfort. but forged through quiet pain. His story isn't just about fame, but about resilience, forgiveness, and the silent battles we never see. Because sometimes, the brightest smiles hide the deepest scars. He may be one of the highest paid actors in Korea. He may wear designer suits on red carpets and headline dramas with sky-high ratings. But at home, the lights stay off unless absolutely necessary. The laundry, washed by his own two hands. And the fridge, stocked not with delicacies, but with budget-friendly meals and coupons. Yes, coupons, still clipped from discount flyers like in the days when he had to count every one. Welcome to the private world of Park Bo-gum, not the superstar, but the man who never forgot what it means to struggle. It's been years since Park Bo-gum rose from a nameless trainee to a household name, gracing both drama screens and cinema halls. But his home, a spacious but modest apartment in Seoul, tells a different story. He refuses to leave the lights on when he leaves a room. Says one longtime friend, even when we're in the middle of a conversation, he'll excuse himself to turn off a hallway light. It's not about money, it's about habit. And what about heating in the cold Seoul winters? He'll wrap himself in 2 or 3 blankets before turning on the heater. A manager once confessed with a laugh. He always says, "I used to do this when I had no choice. Why change now?" To many, it's baffling, but to Bo-gum, it's grounding. A-list star, B-grade lifestyle. In an industry filled with assistants and stylists, Bo-gum insists on doing things himself. One story from a production staffer left fans stunned. "We were on location in Jeju Island. Most actors had staff handling their wardrobe, food, everything. Bo-gum? He was spotted washing his clothes in the hotel sink with his own travel-sized detergent. Why? Because it reminded him of his university days, when he had to travel light, live cheap, and stretch every paycheck to cover rent, tuition, and the crushing weight of his father's failed business loan. He could now afford a full-time housekeeper, a chef, even a personal assistant. But he doesn't. "I feel human when I do things myself," he once said quietly in an interview, looking more like a philosophy student than a global celebrity. Still clipping coupons in designer shoes. Perhaps the most surprising habit of all? Park Bo-gum still uses discount coupons. A fan spotted him at a local convenience store late at night. No entourage, no disguise, just a hoodie, a soft smile, and a coupon for a 2+1 on instant coffee. At a time when he was headlining a major film and reportedly earning millions per project. This sight stunned netizens, but for Bo-gum, it was just another day. He's been seen dining at humble restaurants, ordering the cheapest set menu and leaving generous tips. "Why spend more than necessary?" he told one colleague. "A good meal doesn't need a high price tag." Why he won't let go of the past? Bo-gum once said in a rare, heartfelt moment, "When you've known what it's like to have nothing, even a little feels like too much. I'm afraid that if I forget, I'll lose who I am." That fear, of becoming detached from his roots, drives him. Not out of trauma, but of gratitude. Every light switch he flips off, every dish he washes, every coupon he redeems, it's a tribute to the past that shaped him. And perhaps, it's also a quiet rebellion in an industry obsessed with status. The irony of true richness. In the most ironic twist, Park Bo-gum may be the wealthiest when he chooses to live like he still has nothing. He doesn't own luxury cars. He doesn't throw lavish parties. Instead, he donates quietly to children's hospitals, sponsors students anonymously, and visits orphanages without press. Fame, to him, isn't about being seen, it's about making a difference. When asked if he'll ever upgrade his lifestyle, he simply laughs. "If I can live well with less, why would I need more?"